What's going on, people? Welcome back to another video, and we are back on the S13. Now, in the last episode, you would have seen we put a lovely new steering wheel in my car, which is just by there. Still looking real nice. Car hasn't gone anywhere. I haven't driven it, so of course it's still gonna look pretty good. But today we have got a very important piece, I believe, for any sort of project car. I believe that if your car hasn't got this, it's like one of those, it's just a bit of an inconvenience. So that's what we're gonna get sorted today, and it is in that bag right by there. So let me show you what we got. So what we got is a genuine box from Nissan, and what is inside is very, very important. And that is the Holy Grail speed sensor. Now, this was an absolute pain to get my hands on. I ended up ordering this from Australia, and surprise, didn't get hit with import, thankfully, but I also had to buy a Speedo drive gear because for some reason it didn't come with it, so that was very annoying. But that's all sorted now, so we're gonna get this on the car just so when we go out for a rip, at least we know what speed we're doing. Stay below the speed limit, of course, and it just sort of completes the car that little bit more. I'm sick and tired of having cars where my Speedo doesn't work, so I want to make sure the one on this car does actually work. So we'll pull the cover off, start getting this in, and then we got a few other bits we want to get sorted before we finish today. A lot more tedious bits, but good news, we have officially been given a date for the wiring harness on the 13, and that is the 21st of Feb. We are going to be dropping the wiring harness off for this bag of shit to be sorted, and then when that comes back, the rest of the car can go back together pretty much there. So what we got to do is finish off the little tedious bits, so when that's done, we go out, rep, drive, do some street out, all the good things we want to do in this car we've been building over the last couple of months. Right, so as you can see from the scenery change, we are under a very cramped car to get this in. Not very much room under here because Joe's decided to take the ramp up for the day. Very much a pain in the ass to try and move this thing. So we're doing this on the floor. Oh, the joys. With the sensor, we've got to check this beef bits on. I probably should have done this before I got into the car, but I didn't really think this through. So we'll do this here. Now, I'm not actually entirely sure because I bought this from Australia, it says for 180SX. Now, I don't know if this is going to be reading in kilometers an hour or mile per hour. So we'll figure that one out on our first drive. Worst case scenario, I think it'll just be the case of the face in the dash. I think that's what it'll be, but I'm not actually entirely sure. But there's a part number anyway for any of you that care what this Speedo drive thing is and what are them. So what we got, is this directional? Right, I don't think it matters what way it goes. Hey, never mind, piece of piss, it only goes on one way. So with that, we need our little snap ring there. May need snap ring pliers. Right, I'm gonna grab some snap ring pliers so I can put this on properly before it goes flying across the workshop, never to be seen again. Because I will cry, and I don't fancy waiting another 2 months for this little piece of shit to turn up. So I'm gonna go do that now before we have a bit of a meltdown and a crash out. Right, we are back. Wasn't that too difficult to do. Also on the ring, there's an O-ring, sorry. I put a generous amount of oil on that just so we don't damage the seal, and found a bolt at the same time because, you know, when you spend £4 million on something, it doesn't come with the hardware to do it. So let's try and get a thing in wherever it is. That's by there. Straight in there like that. Nice little bolt in. There we go. Oh, wow. There we go. Now you want to make sure this is tight, but not too tight that it's going to crack the gearbox, because it will cry. Right, let's feed this over the top. We'll probably grab some zip ties to keep it out of the way as well. There we go. Is that the right one? I hope so. Ah, there we go. That snapped into place lovely. So with this, there are these little metal things that hold it into place. So if we pull this up here, wrap around there, that's sorted. That will probably zip tie together. Oh, and there's another one up there then. That one's held in place as well, up there, not too sure. There you go, you can see that. Same with that one. And then those two wires are held up out the way. We'll probably chuck a zip tie around these just to make sure. But yeah, that's sorted already. Nice and easy. I just hope it actually works, because if I've just crawled into this car that's wet and cold and not very nice under here, I will just burn the car out, because this is not very ideal, especially when you're in a unit with a ramp. But enough about that. Let's get out of here and get on with the other bits we need to get sorted, shall we? Right, so that's all on there now. That's all done and tidy, which brings us to one of the other tedious things we've got to do, is these doors. Now, I've got the stand ready, so we can put the door up on there, make it nice and easy. We're only going to be painting the front, and I think up to here, just because the door card hides it, and I'm also a bit lazy, so only I'm going to know about this, and none of you are going to say anything about it. So we'll get the door onto the stand over there. We'll do both doors. I think we're only gonna smash it with a DA anyway, make it a bit quicker, make it a bit easier, because I can imagine these doors are not gonna stay very straight for long at all with what we're gonna be using this car for. So we'll get that onto there. I gotta have a think of what other bits we need to get sorted as well, because we are getting very, very close to the finish line. So let's get this sorted. Got the door on the stand. That was a lot more difficult than I was expecting. These things actually weigh a ton, so may have to go fiberglass doors, carbon doors maybe. I'm just thinking about, you know, save some weight and that. But these doors are pretty straight. I don't think it's actually got any sort of dents in them. So I mean, that seems pretty good. So I think we're just gonna get away with just sanding them down. There's a bit of rust on the corners from where they've been sitting on the floor in the wet, because obviously it always constantly raining in Wales, so we got that as well. So we'll go ahead, clean all this up as well. You get the DA, fucking sand all of that, and these will be absolutely mint in no time. So with the doors, we are only going to be smashing them with some 600s, re-priming them just so the primer matches the colour that we primed the 13 in, and then going yellow. So this could be real straightforward. There we have it. One door done. We'll go ahead and do the second door, and then we are going to do some bits on the bonnet as well. I need to do a bit of repair on the one corner to get that sorted. We'll sand that down, and then all the panels are ready for paint. So I'll take those with me next week to be painted. But for now, we'll get onto the other door and then get onto the bonnet. There we go, the other door is done as well. And if we come by here, you can see this has been purple and red as well. So this door might be one of the original, but this door's black. Back of this one's black, the back of that one is silver. So at some point this has had some different doors and other stuff. I know the door locks are different to what the actual key is for the ignition. So there's some dodgy stuff going on with this, but nothing we can't deal with, and nothing you don't really expect from a 30-odd-year-old 200Sx. I'm just going to assume they're all like this, so we got that. But that leads us now on to getting this bonnet sorted. So I'm going to struggle like fuck getting this off and getting the bonnet over here so we can sort that out as well. I still quite can't get over how heavy these doors are. They're like literally weigh about 4 million tons. Right, so I've taken off the bonnet now, and I haven't actually seen the engine bay of this thing in quite a while. As you can see, it is covered in dust, which needs to be sorted, and Wilkins pinched some bits off of my car, so I need to put those back on as well. Yeah, once this is all pretty much sorted, we'll give this all a wipe down, give it a nice wash, getting a looking pretty nice again. But this thing is going to be an absolute animal when it's done. My little turbo down there, but I'm so excited. I honestly cannot wait to get this thing out now. It's going to be mental. But we got this to sort out. We'll take the aero catches out now, sand this down. What I'm on about with these corners is I might do a bit of filler in by there, and I think the other side's a little bit by there as well. I might just give it a little bit just to tidy it up a bit. I have no idea what's going on with this. This might just be how the fiberglass is, and there's not much I can do about it. But we'll sort it out in a minute. We'll whip these off and then go ahead and sort the rest of this out. Oh my god, what the hell's going on here? Why is this the most difficult thing in the world to try and take out? What is going on? Right, we're not actually going to take that out, we'll just leave that there. So one aero catch out, and then with this one, and there we got it. Other aero catches out, that one we're also going to leave in there, because I can't be arsed trying to take that out, because it is a bit difficult. So we'll give this all a nice sand down now, sort those corners out, and this will be all mint and ready to go as well. Right, so we've gone ahead and sanded all this down. That's all sanded, all nice, which means this is all nice and keyed, so we can put the body filler into here. So we'll do a little bit in there. I'm not sure what I can really do about this edge. I'm not sure. I don't think there's a lot I can do. And the same with this, I might be able to do a little bit of something with that. But we'll have a little play around with that now and try and see what we can sort of do with the whole body filler on the corners, just to neaten it up a little bit and not make it look as, what's the word, not as crack-eddy. So we got the filler, we'll chuck some in the corners just to try tidy up that a little bit more, just so it doesn't look as bad. You understand what I'm trying to say. So we'll mix some of this up now and see how we get on. So managed to get the filler all on these corners just to make it look a bit better. So we'll hit that with the DA now and make that all nice and flush. Obviously my filler applicating still is not very good, but like a wise man once said, it's nothing you can't sand down, and that wise man was Joe. Hi. So we'll sort that out now. We'll do a little bit of YouTube magic, so you don't have to watch me sand this down for 20 minutes like this. And just like that, we are super smooth, and that corner's all nice and repaired. I'm actually really happy with how that's come out. A lot, obviously I've put all my filling skills to the test, and it's paid off, even with this corner. It's all nice and intact. Now, that means the bonnet is all done. Doors are done. What else? Rear fiberglass overs are done, which leads us to all the sanding and prep work is done. So I will be painting this now. I'll probably try paint this now next week when I'm back in work. And that leaves us with not too much left on the car now until the harness is sorted and we go all back together. So a lot of this is pretty much done. Obviously I still got my fan to wire up, which I may integrate it into the harness, may not. So I need to think about how I'm going to do that. I know I got a temp switch by there, so we'll run that to the fan and we'll run that independently now I'm thinking about it. So I can go ahead and do that. Power steering setup. Now, I've been thinking what sort of power steering setup I should go for. I know a lot of people run the Astra setups, Volvo setups, even the Prius setups now with the electric steering columns. I'm leaning towards the Astra setup because of how cheap and available Astra power steering pumps are, especially here in the UK. So I am thinking about that. But if you guys have done any sort of power steering setup like this before, let me know down below if the Astra pump is worth it or if there is a better alternative to that, so I can do that instead, because at the moment it seems like the best setup for me. But I know I've heard a few things about the pump being quite loud, so I don't really want it to be that loud, but it's one of those things I may just have to deal with it, and there's not much I can do about that. We've obviously also got the carbon roof I need to finish. As you see, I've just laid it on the top, out the way for a minute, and that is looking real good, and I can't wait to get this thing on this car. But obviously I need to cut the other roof out. I need to cut the original roof out, I should say, so I can get this one bonded in and get the stuff so I can do that and cut it out and get that bonded in there all nice, because that is looking absolutely amazing. I can't look at that. White wheels, yellow car, carbon fibre roof. That's going to look naughty. And then obviously I need to get the interior back in this thing. But that's for when our harness is all done and sorted. I need to get a seat as well. I think I'm going to go for that option seat. So I need to get that ordered as well. But we are getting extremely close now to that end goal of the ultimate yellow cheese on wheels S13. So I need to start. Oh, and I also need an exhaust. Completely forgot about that. I know I put in the owners chats about what sort of system people recommend or if anyone's got one, but if you guys know of a good affordable exhaust setup for a C8 S13, also let me know down below, because there was quite a few. I'm not entirely sure what sort of style I want to go for. I know I'm leaning towards having a big like shotgun style coming out. I may come out to like there and have them staggered, so I'm still thinking about that. I'm not sure if I'm going to go down the Jap can route, because I know a lot of people do go the Jap can route, and I am a big fan of Jap cans, but I think the 13 deserves twin shotties out the back, because who doesn't love twin shotties? But I also don't want to be too loud, because I do want to enjoy this car and not get turned away from track days in this thing. But unfortunately, that is the end of today's video. We've got so much done and out of the way. So that's all the tedious stuff done. We've just got little bits and bobs now, which ain't too bad, and I can live with and do so over the next coming days, couple weeks before we get out in this thing. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. And also there's a new hype feature on YouTube, so if you see it down below there, make sure you hype the video up. I think it's free. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but I know like, comment and subscribing is, so make sure you do that, and also hit that hype button. It would be great. Just get this video out there a bit more to new viewers, so we can continue building pretty cool cars like this. But anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.